Here with Birdtail, so I want to give you an update. First off, where I'm at, I am on the lake in front of the lodge in a back bay. It's actually a huge lake, and I thought it'd be a cool spot to do it. Check to see how the shrimp look this year, and there is quite a bit. So we're good. Once the birds decide to go to protein in September, they'll be loving it. But I want to give you an update on, I guess want to give you a whole bunch of information. Some stuff is really important, some stuff, whatever, might be just fluff, but whatever, I got it. So water, okay, waterfowl. This year, we did really well with the hatch, and basically the way the winter worked, some wicked cold months kind of thing, and we got decent amount of snow, and then a kind of a fairly kind of drawn out spring, which was good. You kind of need that groundwater to, basically for the melt to go into the ground versus just shooting across basically the frost layer going into water bodies and flooding them and then running off and gone. So it was nice. It was fairly slow, so it was good for seeding this year, and it was really good for the hatch this year. But yesterday what I did was I drove around. I just basically want to show you our area, because it is super cool. Definitely not boring. So what I did is I kind of went into the Boreal Forest, and which everybody knows is a super productive area for waterfowl. And sure enough, like I'd be flying some spots where it's, super muskeggy and whatnot, and you see, a brood kind of scoot out kind of thing. They're probably 3 weeks away from flying, maybe a month, but everybody's out and moving and kind of thing. So it was really neat. But kind of what I tried to show was what it looks like when you go from boreal to like a fringe boreal to a pothole. And basically, because we had a nice spring, and then we had, through kind of May, June, we had just rain at this perfect kind of timing where it worked for the seeding and it worked for the hatch. Last year we just, it was a quick spring, and then we got slammed with a ton of moisture through that May, June, and it just, the birds, they tried to nest, and they just got flooded out all the time. This year was a different story. Basically all the boreal area, the fringe and the potholes just stayed at this perfect level, and everybody was from, not everybody, I'm sure, a lot of predators out there, but it looks to be a giant hatch here. Just, there is birds everywhere. But you could really see it in the boreal area, because it is tight, and you'd be flying and you could just see, them scurrying out and whatnot. Potholes, it's a little easier to see them because there's basically a ring of cattail, and then you got open body water, but it was neat to see. And the diversity in the area is pretty incredible, and it's kind of what makes our area super unique, and then incredible to hunt in the fall. Like that boreal stuff we don't hunt, or even the fringe boreal we don't hunt. There's divers maybe the odd time, but it's the pothole area that's the moneymaker in the fall. Just obviously because they come out of the boreal, even obviously high north boreal, with all the stages of the migration, it's where they're coming from. And then they get into the pothole region, and they just sit in these, safe potholes, and then just fly out, and then it's hitting all the ag. But it was a good hatch year, nothing like last year. So we should do pretty good early season. Kind of feel terrible saying that, but it is the truth. But for crops, basically, we got a lot more peas this year than we've had in quite a few years. It's not a rotational thing. I think it's just, I don't know if they're worth more, or us having a new pea plant close to us changes it for the peas. But we got a lot of peas, which I'm not complaining about. They're fantastic till about that kind of mid-October, and then the birds, they go to more of like a, I don't know, we always call them like a heated crop, so like a barley or wheat or an oats. The peas are protein, so it has something to do with maturity and stages of the flight and energy depletion and whatnot. But we have a ton of peas. I would say our barley, oats, wheat, kind of compared to a canola is average. The canola we don't hunt. We always call it the devil's crop, but it's the farmer's best friend on a good year. But birds will hit it after it's been cut, and if the canola shells out a little bit and it starts to sprout again with, you know, we call it regen, Canada's will hammer that. So the odd time we'll hunt canola, but you basically see a yellow field in the summer and you just kind of get a little worried because there's so much yellow around, but it always looks worse than it is. But our peas are big this year. We got lots of cereals to choose from, and canola, it looks really good. So hopefully it's good for the farmers and they have a good run on that. But yeah, so it should be a pretty good year as far as the crops go. But far as the lodge work goes this year, kind of went to the pin. I had a big laundry list that I wanted to achieve. Every fall I talk to the guides, like at the end of the season, I'm like, what do we need to change? What didn't work? To me, it's all about flow, make the job easier, make the experience way better, and try to have little to no failure and just totally be reliant on Mother Nature, and whatever card she sends us, we take. But basically the lodge to me, that's an important one because I can control that one. So I did a lot of small stuff, a lot of stuff you can't see, a lot of fine tuning. And one would be running dedicated internet lines to all the cabins. I was pushing it through the the electrical lines, and I heard that, you know, electricity has a lot of vibration, and that was basically depleting our speeds and our internet. So I ran dedicated Cat 6 to every one of them. Hell of a lot of trenching, a ton of work. But our speeds are off the charts right now. Like, they are fast. So I'm pumped. That was a great success because that one cost quite a bit. Changed out the mattresses in the cabins. One of the fellows that came last fall was kind enough to tell me that they sucked, and they did. Yeah, so we got nice big 11-inch mattresses this year. I brought in a new building. I saved my pennies for this sucker. Just in the whole math of this business, this one's kind of for me and the staff. It's a big one, obviously, for everyone who comes to, especially because there's an office in there for me now. But basically what it is, there's a whole bunch of rooms. One is a gun room, and I think this one is so slick. So if you need to work on your gun, need to clean your gun, you go into there. All the tools are there, cleaning supplies there, you work on your gun. It's awesome. All our A400 guns, so we got right hands, left hands, 20 gauges, skeet guns, they'll all be stored into there. And then the office that is a big one. It provides a little privacy for us when we're settling up. Sometimes I know it's awkward when we were doing it before. This way, we got a little space. It's way better. And then I put a little bit of a store in there, so all our merch is out instead of me running up and down the stairs collecting stuff, which was terrible. But I knew what I needed, and it took me a while to save up for this building. So, anyways, we did it. So it's got a store. So all our merch stuff there. If you forget your headlamp, toothbrush, or whatever. But there's one product I'm carrying that I'm not trying to sell you, but I'm trying to tell you. And I've always worn heated clothing all through the generations of it. To me, it just makes so much sense. Instead of generating your own body heat through burning calories, man, like, run a battery, get some coils. And I love it. That's how I've hunted the last probably 10, 12 years like that. Then I found this company called E-Wool, and it's actually a Canadian company, and it's fairly expensive. But there's no price tag on this stuff because it is that good. I wore it for the first time when I was wolf hunting, because I was sitting 15 hours, kind of dead of winter. And that's a true test where I was able to sit there happy as a clam, my heated socks on, gloves, and vest. And I wouldn't have to have it on, basically the clothing running. I would turn it on maybe every 2 hours kind of thing. And you're just cooking. It was amazing. So anyways, it was so good. I brought some in just literally to I don't know, not obviously cost, but to share it out kind of thing. Cause this is actually a real gold mine find. So anyways, I tested it and it's badass. So next building, Our next room would be like a garage kind of thing. So we have our waders in there, wader boots. I got a little Suzuki Samurai in there that we use every once in a while for pretty gnarly hunts. And then to the side is our ammunition shack, and that ammunition shack, I ended up getting licensed by the federal government to sell ammunition. So it's a pretty legit license, but I learned a whole bunch of stuff that I was doing wrong. Storing our guns in the change house with the ammunition, it's kind of a no-brainer, but I didn't think about it. So we're separating. So I can sell ammo, it's in the shell shack, that's all cool and legal. But the way we're going to function out of the change house this year, your personal guns, even the rentals, are going to go in your cabin. I put some super nice gun racks up. They go there. So no guns in the change house. Leave all your ammunition there, and they're in two separate places. And that's the way we should have been doing it, and we're doing it now. But whatever, it's a good change. I'm learning, always learning. What else? I did, I bought 2 new trailers, replaced 2 trailers that we had, our main working ones. Totally rigged them out. They're pretty badass, a couple feet longer than what we had. And then, basically, actually I put composite fenders on the trailers. It should be interesting how they do. They lifetime warranty, but we'll see. But basically what I did was I, bought more Dave Smiths. Just absolutely love the things. They look so good. But I bought new lessers, or more lessers, and then I had to buy more snows and blues because they just look so good. That is the ticket for me to snows. You need volume, but it's a quality that they're looking for. Even these lessers, like, oh my gosh, when last year we were putting out like a little 4-pack, I think it was, and you could drop in 2,000-3,000 lessers into like 4 lesser decoys. It was crazy. So anyways, so we upped our Dave Smiths. And then because our Dave Smiths look so good, our duck decoys had a miserable fail last year. So I had to buy new duck decoys. I ended up going with Dakota decoys. They're beautiful flocked heads, oversized. Don't have a ton of them. Again, you don't need them. Going super high quality. It's just easier on us day to day, easier on everyone, picking up spreads and putting them down and whatnot. So anyways, that's the trailers. And then for spinners, it's the first time in 25 years I've gone away from Mojo, but we went with AV&X, like I forget what they're called, but they're lithium battery, some crazy wing design that look really good. I get what their patented design is. It's totally different, and they're not chloroplast. They're like a solid material, super beefy bird. And we got a whole bunch of them. I think we got 15 of them. Then went and bought these. I couldn't resist these little guys, especially for causeway or, some little weird kind of like pothole, marshy area kind of pass shoot hunt, which is these teal. They run on AA's, no remotes. Oh, the mallards have remotes, but we'll lose them and break them. That's just what's going to happen. But the teal run off AA's. They're small. They spin high speed, like they're wicked. So early season, it should be really fun on them. And then I haven't got them yet, but we're getting Avery Power Hunters. And we're going to use those for sandhill crane hunting mostly. Guys have wanted them for years, and I hate Avery, and that's the blind they want. But whatever, it's a personal thing that I'm getting over. But yeah, now this year coming, ton of changes to Manitoba. It's gone draw. The outfitters are allocated, so we only have X amount of licenses that we can sell in a year. Volume of outfitters is capped in Manitoba, and it's basically all to protect access to land, resident opportunity, and sustainability of this industry. Double-edged sword, many different ways. I'm personally happy it went through. It'll be good. Because in that 2020 year, I've never seen anything like that. What Manitoba looks like unpressured, and what's changing basically in the waterfowl culture in Canada is length of stay, not volume of people. So length of stay, it's a 7-day term license now, outfitter license, or a foreign resident freelance draw. So it's a big change, but my point is I have to buy, I have to buy everyone's license for them. The provincial game bird, I will be purchasing that for you. It will be at the lodge when you arrive. And while I'm doing licenses, I might as well buy the federal stamp as well. So on this email, there is a form hyperlink. I need you to fill that thing out. I added a whole bunch of questions, nothing too personal, but enough to make sure that everything's cool. Obviously for filling out the licenses and then dietary stuff and blah, 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 blah. But please fill it out. Don't fill it out like a week before you come, because I will be filling out a lot of licenses this fall, like a lot, hundreds. So please do it in advance. You should be able to know everything prior, a week, 2 weeks prior to you coming. So please do that form. It's mission critical. If you leave it till late, you're just going to bury me, and I won't be really happy. But yeah, fill out the form. And then for travel, Minot is not happening anymore. That was a COVID thing. We're using the Winnipeg International Airport. And we have changed the hotel that we use in Winnipeg. We used to use a Hilton Suites. We're not anymore. We're using the Grand Hotel. Grand Hotel is like 200-yard walking distance from where you literally, from the baggage carousel, you just out the street and then go there. So the Grand Hotel has a restaurant. And then they're just like literally 20 yards further down is like a sports bar kind of thing. So wings and beer and all that kind of good stuff. So you pick either or. We will pick you up from either or at 4:30 p.m. on the arrival day. So everybody who kind of gets their emails, arrival departure, I'll give you those dates. So arrival day, 4:30 p.m. So when you're looking for flights to come in and to leave, make sure that you have enough time to be at the Grand Hotel by 4:30. And when you're departing, please don't book your flights any earlier than 5 p.m. on your departing day. It just affects that morning hunt that you have. If you have to, let me know, and then we will adjust that hunt. But at the end of the day, you're just going to get a shorter hunt, and it really sucks if that hunt turns on fire and we're doing we gotta go. So do what you got to do, and then yeah, that's it. So I just that was a whole bunch of information. This is really long, but I don't know, that is just the way it is. It's been a great year. I'm super pumped for the fall, and thank you to everyone for coming. And if any of you there are not booked for this year, we do have a 4-man opening. We just had a group basically reduce their size. It's for a 3-day hunt. Just shoot me a text or email me kind of thing. Text is best because I'm just running and gunning this time of year. And then we'll get you booked in. But anyways, appreciate your time. Hope everyone's doing well. And next update will probably be in the fall. I'm so excited. Anyways, bye.